Hey guys, so it's been a while since I've actually made a video. I've been incredibly busy, doing a lot of work, just within myself, and just figuring everything out. That's kind of been playing out the past few months of my life. Um, I guess regarding prior videos, the whole twin flame experience that I encountered, and the whole festival, the whole summer festival. So like, I just had my first year anniversary of going to festivals, and my first festival, like my first festie, like outside of the whole rave scene and all that. Like I went to EDC like years ago, but that doesn't count. So my first festival was Sonic Bloom last year, and when I went to this festival, I looked around and I was like, holy shit, these are my people. Like, I am meant to be here, I'm meant to be doing something with these people, And then, after a series of fortunate and unfortunate events, I am now involved with the culture and the scene behind these festivals, and it's crazy because like now that I'm integrated into these festivals, I see the duality behind them. I see the good and the bad, and I see like the authentic and the fake, and it's crazy because like before I thought like everybody who went to these festivals were grand beings and blah blah, and after being there for a while, I start to see these like these shadow undertones within everybody and within the whole scene, and I feel like maybe that's what I'm supposed to do, is bring light to the scene to where there was no light before. So for some, there's a really big drug problem in the scene, and it's not just psychedelics. It's you know really big name drugs that I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it here on the internet, but I mean, we all know they're there, and people overindulge in them, and I'm not necessarily saying psychedelics because I obviously I use psychedelics. I can't deny it, but like, I mean, there are people who are using these drugs as an escape, and they're not using them with full integrity, and it's hurting them, and it's hurting their spirit, and they're confused, and there's just a lot of confusion in the air at these festivals, and it's so funny because like, I mean, I guess it's a mirror of how I am, like how I'm feeling inside, as I'm feeling super confused, and especially now like that all this stuff has been happening in my life. Okay, so I have a story on my wrist, and I actually need to cut some of these. I've just been waiting until after the summer because it's just it's like my little story. I can tell a story like how I tell my story with my tattoos. I tell my story with my wristbands as well. So it started at Gem Jam. With So actually, okay, so the story begins this year, at the beginning of this year in January. And in January, I met actually the story begins last year at Sonic Bloom. So at Sonic Bloom, I was walking and I felt this heart spark, and I look up and it's Kenny. Kenny's there, and Kenny's the one in my prior videos who, oh man, this story is so sad. I don't even want to talk about it, but like, so basically, I felt this heart spark, and I look up and I see this guy, and it's Kenny, and I didn't know who the fuck he was at the time. Like, I'm just chilling. I was with my ex at the time. I was, I thought I was happy. I was, doing my best to, make sure he was okay, and like that's why I didn't think anything of this heart spark. I was just like, oh, it's just, I don't know, a thing. Like try to disregard it as much as possible, even though deep down I knew it was something, but then I didn't really want to admit that it was something because I was going through relationship problems of my own and another relationship, and I did not need that drama. Oh man. So this heart spark ends up being Kenny. Kenny is an incredible soul. He is a beautiful, majestic, full light soul, you know, and all I can say is he did his best. And he even said he did his best, but whatever, like, I'm over it. You know, it hurts me. It really, really hurts me deep inside to know that when I met Kenny, I had this intense experience, and I thought we both shared this experience with each other. And, you know, you can go back to my prior videos and you can hear the whole story about what happened at Gem and Jam and how I am still totally convinced that he is my twin flame. And there's more to the story, and it's just crazy because, like, so Gem and Jam's where we left off, right? I went to Lucidity. He didn't show up to Lucidity. He was supposed to. We were supposed to go together. We were supposed to be chilling at Knuckle Bear, you know, looking at that full moon together, but we didn't. And I was sad, and I was crying, and I hurt, and I hurt, and I hurt, and I didn't tell him for the longest time. I didn't tell him how bad I was hurting, you know. I kind of just let him be. I let him be, you know. Whatever. If you want to go do your thing, you want to go chase baby squirrels, go the fuck chase baby squirrel. I don't care. I want this feeling to, like, leave me, you know. Like, I want to do my own clearing. I don't want to have to rely on other people to help me help myself, you know. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that baggage. Like, so after Lucidity, I was super hurt. And then Lightning in a Bottle rolls around, and I get a ticket. And then I get another ticket, and I'm like, well, shit, it's Kenny's birthday. I might as well invite him to Lightning in a Bottle. So I bring him to Lightning in a Bottle. You know, I have my expectations. Unfortunately, my expectations were... I shouldn't have had them. I was let down. I saw Kenny on the dance floor after Bashar, and I don't even know if I talked about this in my last video, but whatever. And I saw him, and I went up to him, and well, at first I was sitting there in the crowd, and Bashar was on stage, and he starts talking about following your bliss, and I was like, as he was talking about following your bliss, I look up, I'm like, oh, follow your bliss, you know, hey. I was fine. I was super happy at the time. I was like, yes, like, life, you know, and I look up, and guess who's 3 rows in front of me? Kenny. So I'm like, okay, what does this mean? Sit there. All of a sudden, like, all this alchemical energy, all this fire starts fueling up, you know, it starts churning in my chakras, and I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to him. Yes, I'm stoked. I'm gonna go sit right next to him, and I'm like, what's up? Hey, you know, how are you? And I got scared, and I was like, okay, breathe. I need to do this. Like, you know, I need to do this. So I was sitting there, and I was like shaking now. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, okay, why am I so scared to talk to him? Like, why am I scared? Why do I feel fear? You know? And I still didn't talk to him, and Bashar, that's when Bashar started talking about how we're going to be making contact within 2025, and I was like, oh shit, that's me. That's a reflection of my fear, you know, like, I'm allowing that fear to, you know, like that fear is manifesting in the future almost, like, in a sense, like, so that fear I saw, I was like, okay, because when I first started listening to Bashar, like, he's like, first contact 2017, you know, and I was stoked on that. And then when he said 2025, that was kind of like, initially in my mind, it was like a setback. It was like, okay, this fear is holding me back from, you know, moving forward, in a sense, you know, not necessarily with just extraterrestrials, but like through correspondence, you know. And so finally I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like thinking over these thoughts over and over. And then I am like, you know, I need to just do it. I just need to get up and go talk to him. And right as I went to get up, I swerved, and I got a coconut because I got scared. I'm not gonna lie. I got scared, I got a coconut, and started drinking it. And he was right there. And I look up, and tears start, like, welting in my eyes. But, like, I hold them back, and I'm just like, hey. And he's just like, hey, Missy. And the look in his eyes, oh man, it wasn't the same. The light that I saw at Gem and Jam, the light, all those times I saw him on Skype, and all those magic moments we had, it just wasn't there anymore. And I looked at him, and I knew right away, like, I knew intuitively And he looked at me in the eyes, and I was just like, so I'm confused. And he's just like, about what? You know, like, what? Air signs. Hmm? And I was just like, you know what I mean? And I looked at him in the eyes, and he just looked at me, and he's just like, oh, that was never the intention. And at this time, all these worlds of emotions come cascading down on me. And I'm just like, what? What? That wasn't the intention? So everything we experienced, prior to this wasn't the intent? That wasn't the intention? You weren't, what? Like, really? You played me? Like, dude, you could have just straight up been cool with me in the beginning and just been like, nah, it's never gonna go anywhere. It's never gonna happen. You could have saved me all that heartbreak and, like, even though I know, like, it sucks because I still know he's my twin flame. And I just saw 11/11. Like, the universe just keeps sending these signs and I just can't help but, like, see them, Like, it's just within me just to see them, and, like, I'm not asking for them. They just keep coming, So that's where our story left off last. And now, after lightning in a bottle, I cleared all that energy. I had stuck energy within my, like, it manifested into pain, it manifested into physical ailments. And I finally did all the clearing, and, like, now it's sonic bloom. Now time for sonic bloom. And I'm like, fuck yes. I don't have any of that worry. I don't have any of that, self-doubt, like, any of that anymore, Like, I'm freed. I felt freed from all of that. Oh, yes, the story gets interesting. So I finally feel free. And now I am working Sonic Bloom, because I worked LIB, but I was like, it was more like an intern work, Now I'm working Sonic Bloom. So I am working the Jason Burr's jewelry booth. And I am stoked. I am a part of the festivals. I am officially in, my foot's no longer in the door. I'm in, I'm talking to all the heady folk. I'm talking to the artists. I'm talking to the musicians. I'm talking to the people who throw this events. Like, I'm super stoked to be a part of this team, So my whole mindset at Sonic Bloom was like, yay! Like, yes, And then I see his roommate. And his roommate was super sweet to me the first time I met her. Saw her at LIB. And they were standing away. And the vibe I got from them was not beautiful like it was at Gem and Jam. It was not welcoming and wholesome. It was a look, like what is she doing here, And I saw her at Sonic Bloom, and I was walking this way, and she was walking this way, and she smiled at me, but it was kind of like a, oh shit, like, oh shit, she's here, And I was just like, so I smile, and I nod my head, and I'm just like, how are you? And she's like, I'm good. And she's like, how are you? And I was like, I'm great. And I smiled, and I walked away, and I was like, shit. If she's here, that means he's here. And if he's here, that means... So I go hang out, chill that night. Everything's chill that night. The next day, this is where it gets funny. The next day, I see him standing there with his roommate. It's about 7, 8-ish at night in the evening. Summer solstice. Yeah, it's on summer solstice, on the peak day. I see him, and I go up, and I walk, and I'm like, and like right away, like something's just like, within me, and I look up, and then it's him, and then all of a sudden, there's that fire again, that flame, that just I can't even explain it. It's just like immense emotion, immense fire, like passion. I'm like, why am I feeling this passion? I'm not supposed to be happy with him, like he's hurt me. And I was like, you know what, whatever. So I go up and I tap him on the shoulder and I'm like, hey Kenny. And I smile and I'm just like, hi, like, hi. Sorry, this is weird, And his face just looked so flustered. He looked so shocked that I was there, and I was just confused, And then, I said hi to everybody in his group, and his roommate, now she is just not comfortable at all. And it's weird, and I'm like, why is this girl so uncomfortable with me? Like, what am I doing? I didn't do shit, I'm just trying to be, and I'm just trying to, like, hang out with Kenny, because, like, shit, he's great, Like, that's all I was trying to do. I was trying to make peace, I was trying to make peace within me, and the only way I could make peace within me is if I went and talked to him. He was there for a reason. I had to go talk to him, so I did. And, sorry, let me fix this lighting. It's bugging me. So, I get there, and I'm like, hey, Kenny, what's up? Hi. And he's just like, hi, Missy, like, how are you? Like, oh, what the fuck, And, I just had to be myself, and I was just like, I'm doing great, I'm doing the best I can be, and, like, I hope you're doing good too. And then at this time, his friend from across the little circle interrupts, and his friend starts hitting on me, and I'm just like, this is awkward, like, he's like, I like your hair, and blah blah, and this, and then he's like, oh hey, you two match, and he points to Kenny and I. And at this time, I'm like, this is so awkward, like, this is so awkward, just escape button, like, shit. And his roommate looked at me, and she gave me the most horrendous look I could ever even just, like, I didn't even understand it, and I was just, like, standing there, and I was, like, looking at the sunset with my friend Holly, and then Kenny goes, Colorado sunsets are the most beautiful thing I've seen, the most beautiful sunsets I've seen. And I'm just kind of standing there like, yeah, and then my friend Holly's like, nah, you've never seen a New Mexico sunset. And then I was like, yeah, you've never seen a New Mexico sunset. And I'm just thinking, like, why am I feeding into him? Stop, So I was just like, because New Mexico sunsets are more beautiful than Colorado. Sorry, Colorado, but I just have to say that. But, like, so I was telling him that, and then I was like, and then as my friend Holly, she's like, yeah, because we're from New Mexico. His roommate, again, she gave us the most dirty look, like, oh, you're from New Mexico, like, we're Cali kids, we don't fucks with you, It's so stupid. And I just looked at her, and I was just like, my friend Holly's like, yeah, we're from the desert, and, like, she totally caught on to the vibe, and she's like, yeah, we're from the desert. She's like, we're like cactus, we're soft on the inside, but we have to be spiny on the we're spiny on the outside. And I just looked up, and I was like, yeah, and I looked at Kenny, and I was like, because we have to be. Shit, he hurt me, And then I was like, I gotta go, so I walk away. Done. Come to realize it, like, after I was super sad, super bummed out. Of course, me being super analytical, I go back and I reread the text messages that he sent me, just because, like, I'm confused, at this, like, this was after the festival, this was, like, 2 days ago, so, like, this is after the fact, and I was so confused, and there's a text from him saying, I can't wait to see you at Sonic Bloom and see the Colorado sunsets, because they're the most beautiful sunsets, and I forgot about that completely, and then it hit me, and I was just like, whoa, what is the universe doing? Like, what is going on? Like, she brought us together through time and space, even though we were separated, and even though, like, our connection, there's that disconnect, she brought us there, and I recognized it, and I realized it, and I knew what I knew, like, I knew that was the right time, and he didn't, he forgot all about me, and I'm scared, like, how do you forget about somebody like that? Like, what did I do? Am I crazy? Like, I know I'm crazy, but am I that crazy? Like, shit. I don't think I was that crazy. Maybe I am. Who cares? I'm crazy, but it's okay. So, that's not the end of the story. And I better hurry up and finish talking because I have been rambling for 20 minutes about this. But it's been a thought process in my head for 4 months. Like, I'm over it. I want to be over him. I just want him to go away. If he's not meant to be with me, then I just want him to go away and just stop tormenting me because this sucks. It's like everything you've always wanted in a picture-perfect package, given to you, and then taken back. Just like that. And you don't even have time to blink and like realize what happened, you know? And that's what happened to me. So of course I'm in shock. Of course I'm freaking out. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what did I do? Like so let me finish the story. So I see him 10 minutes later at the bathrooms. His roommate's not there. And I'm like, okay, this is my chance, you know, because if she's the one who's manipulating him, or if she's the one who's talking him, you know, to not like me or something, because she doesn't like me, you know, there's something about her that doesn't like me, and I don't even know what it is. And like, I just got that vibe. So I was like, this is my chance to get him to, like, you know, so he doesn't feel like weird about talking, you know? Like, I don't want to feel weird about talking either, you know? I don't want to talk to his room, like, you know, about us in front of his roommate or his friends, you know? So I tapped him on the shoulder, and of course he was talking to somebody else, so I waited, you know, and then like till he finished talking, and then I tapped him on the shoulder. I was like, hey, can we talk? So we go. He pulls out his little blanket, all fucking cute and shit. Oh god. And he lays it out on the grass next to the hummingbird stage, and I just look at him. I'm like, and I'm over here like trying to suppress all my excitement, like, because like when I saw him, like when I looked in his eyes, I got those feelings back from Gem and Jam. I still felt them, you know. I still got all giddy and excited, and like I was like, yeah, you know, like, yay, Kenny. And like looking in his eyes, he just didn't have that light anymore. He didn't have that little spark. So like I was here trying to like, you know, like encapsulate all of my emotions, and I was just like, oh, this sucks. Like I wanna hug you, and I wanna kiss you, and I just wanna be cute with you, and you just you know, like shit. So I'm sitting there, the struggle, and we started talking, and I was just like, so what happened? Like what happened? What disconnected, you know? And he's just like, I don't know what happened. Like, what do you mean you don't know what happened? Like, something happened. Tell me, you know? He's like, I just don't know. He's like, I thought I did the best given the situation I was given, or in the situation I was given. And I was like, okay, that's understandable. But then I was like, but how did you feel all these things, you know, in Gem and Jam, and then all of a sudden it just disappears? He's just like, I don't know. And I was like, Kenny, I need closure. I was like, I just want to move on already, you know? I was like, please, just let me go. You know? And he couldn't, and he just wouldn't give me closure. And I was just like, we sat there, and we went in circles for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't even know how long. Just going in circles. I'm like, well, you know, like, there has to be a reason, you know? Like, there has to be a reason. And like, he would start to come up with like something, you know? He said it had to do with insecurities within himself, and I was like, okay, but that doesn't make you fall out of love with somebody. I don't understand, you know. I don't understand, you know. Geminis, what the fuck? What's going on up there? So I'm like confused, and then the DJ starts spinning, and he's playing some funky music, and it gets brought up, you know, that the DJ's playing funk, and I was like, I like the funk, and I started doing a little dance. And he giggled, and he laughed, and I know that laugh, and I know that he giggled at me. I think, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, I could be crazy, you know, who knows what goes on in this Aquarian mind of mine, you know, I'm over it. So I'm like, I look up, and he smiles at me, but quickly the smile just gets erased, and I'm just like, me. You know, like, what did I do, you know, what am I doing to turn you off so much, you know? And like, he's just like, it's me, it's not you. And I'm like, but it has to be me if you don't want me, you know? So then at this point, you know, we're just going in circles, and I'm just kind of like changing the subject, like just trying to talk to him, you know. I'm just like, I just love being around him, so I'm like just trying to talk to him about aliens and music and just being like, you know, being cute and cuddly, but not really being cute and cuddly. And like, I feel my energy get closer to his, and his get closer to mine, and at this point my like finger is touching his knee, and like I could feel this like surge of energy, but it's like it was almost like resistant, like I wanted to so bad, but I was holding back. But I don't know how he felt, but I felt resistance, you know? And And then it got dark. And then he's like, what time is it? And I was like, I don't know, 9 something. He's like, is Spangle on? And I was like, probably, you know. He's like, oh shit. And like this, at this point, he's like in go mode. He's like ready to go. And like I knew my time was ending, and I was just like, okay, well, thanks, you know. So I stood up. He stood up, packed up his little blanket, put it in his backpack. And then right then I was just standing there, and I just looked at him. And I was like wiping my makeup to make sure. I was like, okay, you know, I was like, is my makeup okay? He's like, I can't tell. And I was like, okay, good. Because if it's like blah, then I don't want to be like all, you know, I don't want to look bad in front of him. Of course I don't, you know. And I look up, and he's looking at me, and he's kind of looking confused. And at this point, I'm crying. I'm like bawling, you know, like there's tears. I can't control the tears anymore. Like the whole time I was holding them back, and they just started coming out without, you know, they just came. And I looked at him, and I was like, why are you doing this to me? With tears coming out of my eyes, you know, just bawling. And he looked at me, and he's like, I gotta go. He turned around, and he left. And he left me on that dance floor crying. Second time he left me crying. And I still love him, and I still forgave him, and I still have so much space in my heart for him. And it's just like, I'm over it. Let me go. If it's not meant to be, just let me go. I'm ready. And that's the story. My Sonic Bloom. Sometimes I wish I was just crazy. Kind of sucks knowing that you're not. I mean, I am, but I'm not. So, we'll see where it goes from here.